Hey, good morning internet and welcome back to the channel. So we've got quite a bit planned for today. As you've just seen, the new headlamp or the replacement headlamp brackets arrived on Monday, and I've bent them back into shape, stripped all the paint off, repainted them, and you know what, they've come up quite nicely, so they look pretty good now. So what we're going to be doing today is suspending the bike somehow. I don't know whether to try jacking it up under the exhaust. I'm not sure if that'll put too much strain on the exhaust, or maybe I could try my the new winch that I bought with the big strap and do it from the ceiling. Either way, we're going to be lifting the front end of the bike up so I can drop the fork legs, get the old brackets out and put these new ones in and start putting that back together. That's the idea for today. I want to be able to put those indicators on, and almost it's for the last time, like I said, you know, so we can, you know, really finalize the connections, make sure everything's good, and start wiring the headlamp up and putting that in the actual housing. One of the things that I did get for the or with the brackets was a headlamp bulb. Let me just grab it. But it's quite damaged. I haven't actually checked to see. I don't know whether you'll remember, but the headlamp that I got for the bike is actually off a GT550. I just couldn't find, at the time when I was ordering it, I couldn't find a GPz550D1 headlamp, and it looked the same. I think it certainly fits the nose cone fairing, so that shouldn't be an issue. But this headlamp bucket is a bigger one, so it might be better for as long as the headlamp fits in it properly, it might be better because there's more room at the back for the wiring management. But we'll have a look at that anyway. So right, let's crack on, get the bike lifted up and get those new brackets on. Thanks very much for sticking with me. Well, that winch sure made it a lot easier than it would have been, I think. I just didn't want to risk jacking it up underneath the exhaust. I always worry about the amount of strain it puts on the headers, you know. But anyway, the winch came in great use. It was hardly any bother to set up, but you know, just drop the legs out far enough to be able to get the brackets off. I've got a couple of rubbers for the holes, so we'll get that in, and bob the indicators back on, get them wired back in, and we'll have a look. But I'm gonna have a look at the headlamp bowl first and just see if we would be better off using that one, the one that came off or one that came with the other parts. I know there's a bit of a break on it, but I can soon fix that actually. And it's only broken where the adjuster is, so if it'll fit, I think I'll paint it first, you know, just to tidy it up, but I think we'll probably use that. But yeah, okay. Right, okay, so getting on quite well. I had to ditch the overalls again, it's just too hot in the garage today for them. Right, so as you saw, brackets are changed. I think I've still got to adjust. I've still got to tweak this bracket because it's just not sitting right. So it's obviously still a little bit bent. It must be very slight because I couldn't see it, but it's just sitting a little bit back. So we'll sort that out. It's not too much of an issue. So back on with the wiring now, really. And the only stuff I've got left to do really is the headlight, and I've got power to the side lamp. I've got power to the headlamp, but it's wrong. So I'm just trying to work it out. So from what I understand, I should have an earth going to the bulb, obviously the headlamp bulb, and then the two feeds should be high and low beam. So of course that's got to come out the switch. So I've got to try and find if we've got power up to the switch and then coming back out of the switch on those two wires. Tom's already labelled him up for me, so yeah, all good there. But it's like I said, I just need to understand if power is at the switch, and if it is, or if it isn't, we're going to fault find that. So yeah, okay, crack on. Well, good job today, I think. So that's the wiring done. All the lights work, all the indicators work, everything works. I think we've got a couple of bulbs out in the clocks, and that's fine because I've got to replace the rev counter anyway. So it's definitely bulbs though, because there literally is just a feed from the switch and a earth, and you can see that the feed is getting power and the earth is earthed, so they're just not lighting up, and that's fine. So remaining outstanding, I suppose, wiring wise, is the horn, because it's not fitted yet, and the you know, those clock lights. Really, everything else is working fine. You can get a better idea now of how the nose cone fairing will sit. Ish, you know, sort of there, somewhere there, maybe a little bit higher up, but you know, pretty much there. Looks fab, doesn't it? But yeah, so really pleased with the indicator brackets. Might have to just tweak that one a little bit further forward. So it's really coming on in leaps and bounds, don't you think? It's looking great. That's it for today. Job for tomorrow is I'm going to get the carbs off and give them a good clean out, as has been suggested by quite a few people now. As I say, the parts came for it earlier, so I've got oil and filter. So I'll do that maybe tomorrow, I'm not sure. We'll certainly be having the carbs off though, and we'll be giving them a good clean. I've got some base gaskets for the, or float bowl gaskets for the carbs, just in case the other ones are perished, which I suspect they will be. The last thing I wanted to do was to take the carbs apart and then be stuck for parts, so I thought, well, I'll just get them for what they cost. Yes, it's coming on in leaps and bounds. Just got to make that bracket for the headlight. Got to decide what we're doing with the exhaust. I've got to be honest, it looks quite like a Kirker exhaust, doesn't it? The Kirker, I can't remember the style of the exhaust now, but I've seen quite a few, well, certainly the Zephyrs were this style, because this is a Zephyr exhaust, but I've seen them on other older Kawasaki's as well in that style, so I'm thinking maybe it wouldn't be a bad thing to keep that exhaust. So what I might do though, because it's a bit quiet, I might drill the baffles out, and I've got a set of baffles in my part somewhere, and which might, you know, just enhance the sound a little bit. So I might drill that out and put the other baffle in, see what it sounds like. I've got nothing to lose, because, you know, at worst I'm going to swap the exhaust, so, you know, it doesn't really matter, does it? But, you know, I gave it a bit of a clean, and it's cleaned up really nicely, so I hope you'll agree that the bike's coming on in leaps and bounds now. We're really getting close to it being finished. Stick with me. We'll get there in the end. Thanks very much. I'll see you next time, Internet. Bye.